If you've ever walked a woodland trail and thought, wow, why is everything all of a sudden grass? There's a good chance you've met Japanese stiltgrass. This stuff is invasive AF, aggressive, and exceptionally well at showing up where it's not wanted. In this video, we cover where Japanese stiltgrass came from, how to identify it before it takes over your soul, how it spreads so effectively, and what actually works to control it, including specific herbicides recommended for different growth stages. You can jump directly to what you need using the timestamps in the description below. To give you some background, Japanese stiltgrass showed up in the US around 1919 as packing material used to ship porcelain from China, per the USDA. It was first documented in Tennessee and has since spread across most of the eastern United States, and even as far west as Texas. It's an annual grass, meaning that it germinates in spring, it grows pretty darn fast, and sets seed in late summer. Then it dies back in fall and winter. But don't celebrate yet, because it leaves behind a lot of seeds. And by a lot, I mean an unhinged, absurd, like how is this even legal, amount of seeds. Up to 1,000 seeds per plant. Not only is Japanese stiltgrass a prolific seeder, it also has a lot of sprawling growth habits. It loves trails, roadsides, forest edges, pretty much anywhere humans move through and accidentally help it along. Those tiny seeds can hitch a ride on your shoes, tires, ATVs, logging and road equipment, even flowing in water. Think floods, big or small. Once introduced, it spreads quickly and forms dense mats that crowd out native plants. And just to make things extra fun, those seeds can stay viable in the soil for up to 5 years. So let's talk identification. From far away, you can see that Japanese stiltgrass forms dense, tangled mats, usually 1 to 3 feet tall, sometimes taller in ideal conditions. It'll look brown in wintertime, and when it's first getting established, it's not so much of a mat. So stems are kind of dinky, thin, delicate, and a bit wiry, and many of them are connected by horizontal runners, kind of like crabgrass. Now for the fun part. This plant has tiny stilt-like prop roots along its stems, which is where it gets its name. And honestly, they're pretty cool. So from what I gather, scientists believe stilt roots develop to give the plant a few big advantages. One, support and anchoring. The roots act like props holding the plant up. Also, they help anchor the plant in place, especially in loose or wet soil, so it doesn't get knocked over or, I don't know, moved. 2, spread and lift. This lets it spread horizontally and lift itself above nearby plants. In my opinion, comparing it to something like crabgrass, it has the advantage because crabgrass tends to grow only horizontal, whereas this can grow horizontal and above competitors so that it can suck out all the sunlight. Put those traits together in a non-native landscape and you have an invasive advantage. Some key characteristics to know about with the stilt roots are that they have a shallow root system. They're fibrous and stay close to the soil surface, which makes the plant easy to pull up, especially after it rains. Advantageous roots. So these roots do not grow from root tissue, they are growing from the stem itself. The leaves are elongated, lance-shaped, and about 1 to 3 inches long. The biggest giveaway? The silvery stripe running slightly off-center down the leaf blade. Although the midrib is typically thought of as centered, in stiltgrass it often appears slightly off-center because the leaf blade is subtly asymmetric and the smooth surface reflects light unevenly. This reflection makes the midrib stand out as a pale or silvery line from the leaf base to the tip. The presence of this single, narrow, reflective midrib is one of the most reliable field traits for identifying Japanese stiltgrass. In late summer, you'll see a 3-branched flower spike, about 1 to 2 inches long. The spike matures and drops seeds, as said before, up to 1,000 seeds per plant. So after it dies back, the stems stay in place over winter, forming dry, matted thatch that smothers just for the fun of it. So yes, you can often spot last year's invasion, even when everything looks dormant. Now, in case you're anything like me and have the darndest time telling grasses apart, let me give you some info on some common lookalikes. The most common lookalike is native whitegrass. Here's how to tell them apart. Whitegrass has a much larger flower spike, sometimes up to 10 inches long. Its stems have dense white hairs around each leaf base. Japanese stiltgrass, smaller flower spikes, smooth leaves, no white hair tufts. When in doubt, check the leaf texture and look for the silver stripe. Japanese stiltgrass isn't picky. It's been reported as invasive in natural areas from Wisconsin to Texas and New Hampshire to Florida. It grows in partially shaded road banks, fire trails, logging roads, mesic and floodplains, stream banks, river bluffs, utility right-of-ways, ditches, thickets, early successional fields, garden beds, and lawns. See? Not picky. Stiltgrass will even grow in full sun to deep shade, and it appears to perform well in moist, rich soils that are high in nitrogen. Now to the part most of you probably skipped right to, control options. Fun fact, according to a 2020 report, stiltgrass was found to be the most aggressive invader of national park forests in the eastern US and is a high management priority. So attention to new invasions on your property should be a priority for you. First up is hand pulling and cutting. For small infestations, hand pulling works because of how shallow the roots are. Cutting plants at ground level with a string trimmer is also effective if you remove all stem tissue. This method should only be used if you plan to keep a very close eye and acting fast when you notice any regrowth. An important note on timing. Wait until June-ish, depending on your location, to avoid triggering a second flush of germination, and finish before late August when seed heads form. Also, please know that mowing alone isn't great. It often leaves stem nodes behind and the plant just regrows. Then you have pre-emergent herbicides. Pre-emergents stop seeds from sprouting, but they only work before germination. Some key points about using pre-emergent herbicides are that you have to apply them 2 to 3 weeks before germination, usually by mid-March, earlier in warm springs. And they don't harm established plants, which is a pro. But a con is they don't kill existing stiltgrass. Timing is tricky because germination depends on soil temperature, not the calendar. Then you have a pre and post combo approach. Adding a low rate of these chemicals to a pre-emergent mix gives you more flexibility. This combo controls tiny emerged seeds, buys time for the pre-emergent to move into the soil, and still keeps decent selectivity. Bonus, this mix also works on mile-a-minute vine, which loves the same sites. Caution, these products can injure some desirable herbaceous plants. Read labels very carefully and know your site. Last but not least, we have the post-emergent herbicides, the ones that take care of the stiltgrass after germination. Some important differences to note is that glyphosate kills everything it touches, but can be used at very low rates. Glufosinate damages only sprayed tissue. Perennials often recover. And this last one targets grasses and largely spares broadleaf natives. But remember, none of these affect seeds already in the soil. If stiltgrass is well established, the goal isn't instant eradication. It's suppression. You're creating a window for native plants, meadow plantings, or forest regeneration. But, and this is critical, deer pressure matters. Heavy browsing removes native competitors and gives stiltgrass the advantage. In many places, a functional ecosystem with some stiltgrass may be the best outcome you can wish for. And honestly, that's still better than a monoculture. Japanese stiltgrass is persistent, but it's not unbeatable with timing, patience, and realistic goals. If you've battled this plant, what worked? What absolutely did not work? And did it come back like it paid rent? Drop your experiences in the comments. It helps everyone dealing with the same issues. And if you want more invasive species breakdowns without fear-mongering or greenwashing, stick around because your yard and your local woods are already ecosystems, whether you meant them to be or not. I'm cold. I'm gonna go grab a coffee.